What is going on, guys? Back with another Wizards video. Now, I wanted to talk about Kyle Kuzma because as of late, he's been on a really good stretch. And it's something I see on Twitter a lot. When big sport accounts tweet out Kyle Kuzma numbers in his last 10 games or whatnot, or tweet out his stats consecutively in his last couple games. One of the replies I see a lot is, and regardless if it's troll or not, is LeBron James held Kyle Kuzma back. That's weird. I think that's pretty weird because it made me think, did LeBron James hold Kyle Kuzma back? And logically, the answer to that question is no. LeBron James did not hold Kyle Kuzma back because you can, make the case obviously that when LeBron James joined the Lakers in Kyle Kuzma's second year, he was 23. His role changed? Obviously. Did he not have the ability to have as big of a role as he does on the Wizards? Obviously. These are obvious things. But that does not equate to LeBron James holding Kyle Kuzma back. As we see, Kyle Kuzma is almost averaging a double-double this season. He's averaging 8.9 rebounds, which is practically 9 rebounds, and 15 points. I mean, he's having not the full season, but as of late, he's been having a really good, real good month and some change of basketball, for sure. But there's a lot of reasons that go into Kyle Kuzma and his success as of late with the Wizards, and why he may have struggled with the Lakers in the last 2 seasons. Because his 2018-19 numbers when he was 23 with the Lakers and his rookie numbers look fine. He averaged 16 points. He averaged 18 points his second year in 2018-19. 16-6 in his rookie season. 18-5 in his second season. I mean, he averaged 36% from 3 in his rookie year. 30% in his second year. From the field, he averaged 51% in his rookie year. His second year, he averaged 55% from the field. I mean, so his numbers were okay. In that second year, 2019, 2020, 2020, 2021, it was a drop-off, definitely. And, I mean, if you are on social media, Kyle Kuzma was taking some heat. But, I mean, there's a lot of reasons that go into that. And it's not as simple as Bron was holding him back because now he's playing better. That's a pretty lazy excuse. That's a pretty scapegoatist excuse, I would say. Now, one thing I always harp about on my videos, and if you aren't subscribed, I talk about Wizards. I know you guys don't watch Wizards. If you're watching this and you're not a Wizards fan. But I talked about it with Troy Brown Jr., who now plays with the Chicago Bulls. Having a defined role and knowing your role and having a consistent role is very important, I feel like, for a young player. And Kyle Kuzma coming in at 22, being with LeBron at 23 through the age of 25. He's 26 now. I mean, that's tough because playing with LeBron James, LeBron's going to have the ball. LeBron's going to have the ball, and he's going to be the main guy. So you're going to be relegated to, rebound, play defense, be ready to catch and shoot when LeBron finds you wide open in the corner or something like that. And Kyle Kuzma isn't really a three-point shooter. Not isn't really. I wouldn't say he's a three-point shooter. Now, he may have games where he's shooting good from the three-point line. But I would prefer Kyle Kuzma getting downhill, getting to the basket, and getting to the free throw line, which he has been doing for the Wizards as of late. Now, his role, he may have not felt like his role was what he wanted it to be. His role was obviously a little more minimized than what it was on the Wizards rather than what it was on the Lakers. And that just comes with the territory of playing with LeBron James, because unless you're a Kevin Love, a Chris Bosh, a D Wade, a Kyrie Irving, you're not going to be that heavily involved. You're going to be the role player, you chip in, you help. Stand there, sit in the corner, let the boys go to work. You get involved here and there. And that could take a toll on a player, a young player. That can, along with the scrutiny, which I'm going to get into, of playing with the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James especially, that could all be a big factor into, why he was struggling with the Lakers when it came to his ending times, and why he's playing well with the Wizards currently. Things like defined role, or having a different role, or just having a smaller role can have an effect on that. And next, I want to get into the scrutiny aspect of things. Because when you look at playing with the Los Angeles Lakers, Magic Johnson, Kareem, you think of Kobe Bryant, obviously, Shaq. It's championships. That's what the Lakers represent. Championships. So, I mean, LeBron James joins. You're already playing in a Los Angeles market. Then you get LeBron James to join. That's a whole nother beast right there. Because that comes with a lot of scrutiny. And when you're 23 years old and you get LeBron James on your team, you're on Undisputed. You're on First Take. Every single day getting talked about. You cannot have a bad performance. You can't. Look at Russell Westbrook. I've never seen Russell Westbrook get this much slander in his life. I have not. I just simply have not. I mean, he's getting killed this season. Talked about 5 days a week on TV, on Twitter, trending every single game. He cannot have a bad game or a stretch of bad games without being spoken about. So and Westbrook's like 30, 31, something like that. When you're dealing with that at 23, 24, 25, that's a lot to weigh on mentally. And not everybody's can just go with the flow and just take that. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure to deal with, especially, coming up at a younger age. It really is. And I think that does have an effect. And when you come to the Washington Wizards, nobody's watching the Wizards. Nobody cares about the Wizards outside of Wizards fans. Like, when Russ was in Washington, it brought more eyes. But Russ, when he had his struggling times or a stretch of bad play, it wasn't talked about as much. You may have seen it, but it wasn't talked about as much as it is now. Kyle Kuzma, his bad stretches aren't talked about as much. There isn't as much scrutiny, obviously, as there is when he was on the Lakers. Because it's the Wizards. Nobody's watching the Wizards. The Wizards aren't on ESPN every daggone day on TNT. So there's a little more leeway to be more relaxed. Having a rough stretch is okay, because you're not going to get killed if you go through a rough patch. And then obviously, his role is bigger on the Wizards. He's more involved in the offense. Right now, he's like the second option on the team outside of Bradley Beal. I mean, you talk about a bigger role. You talk about less scrutiny. You get to play your game, man. You have the ball more, bigger role, less scrutiny. You're not talked about 24/7. You get to do what you get to do and hoop without all these eyes, without the LA eyes, without the LA media, without the LeBron media, etc. It's a little less stressful to deal with. And I think all those things I just talked about, his having a more defined role, having a bigger role. Also, when you talk about the scrutiny, less scrutiny, being able to play in a smaller market with a smaller market team. We've seen it with Lonzo Ball when he went to New Orleans, now with Chicago. We talked about it with Brandon Ingram when he went to New Orleans. Jordan Clarkson, who's now in Utah. Julius Randle, who's in New York. These guys go through changes of scenery, but their roles always, they're increased. Their roles are increased now. Their roles are better now. There's less eyes. Now, Julius Randle's different because he's in New York, but B.I. in New Orleans, Lonzo when he was in New Orleans, Utah with Jordan Clarkson. Now, Kyle Kuzma in Washington. Those are smaller market teams except for Julius Randle, who's in New York. And those help. It's not a factor of LeBron holding these guys back or LeBron making these guys not reach their full potential. I mean, that's just how things work. When a big star comes, the other guys, younger guys, they take a step back. And to change the scenery for them where they can embrace a bigger role, be in a smaller market, not be as scrutinized with their play. It helps. It really does. So I just wanted to talk about that because it was a thought on my mind and the thoughts on my head, because it's just funny seeing LeBron held him back, or, why couldn't he do this on the Lakers, or, LeBron held him back. I think that's just pretty crazy, man. But I just wanted to have a little chat on that. If you guys have anything in the comment sections to say about it, let me know in the comment sections. Of course, if you liked the video or enjoyed it, please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I will see you guys later. Peace.